Welcome to State Insurance USA Cares podcast, where we celebrate the heart of our communities. Each episode, we highlight local charities and nonprofits who are bringing hope, help, and healing to those who need it most. Get ready to be inspired by the amazing stories of people making a difference, because together, we care.
Welcome, Fort Myers Beach, good neighbors. Today we are at the Estero Island Historical Society, and we've got Janet Gottlieb and Ellie Bunting to share a little bit about the Historical Society and what you guys do here, and about the important information and history about this island that we need to share with all our listeners out there and everybody moving in. We got a lot of new people moving to the island, right?
Right.
You know, so we need to make sure they're aware of the history, as well as people like myself. You know, I've been here for a long time, but there's stories I haven't heard that I want to hear. So without further ado, why don't we jump right in, and why don't you share a little bit about what you do here at the Historical Society?
Well, I think our main purpose is to preserve the history of the island and to educate people about the history of the island and where we came from. That will hopefully help us protect the future.
Right. And how long have you been involved
In the Historical
Yep.
Society, I would say probably at least 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of changes.
A lot of changes
Yep.
in that time, definitely. And I've been president since Ian, so
Right,
not
yeah.
that long.
Right. Wow.
For that.
It's
It seems like a long time, but yeah.
You look at some of the rebuilding, you're like,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of the history side of it. Is like, I find myself been down here since '89. I find myself driving up and down the Estero Boulevard going, what was there?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Yeah.
You know, you're forgetting where these places were,
Exactly.
you know, because
Yeah.
it doesn't look the same anymore.
Right.
And that's the downside of it. But, you know, you guys are here to capture a lot of that. I know you've got the old street signs that we used temporarily during Ian, which is a nice little, little thing as
We
well.
were very grateful to have those mementos of how people got through Hurricane Ian and the aftermath.
Yeah.
Community really came together for that.
So this house, this cottage is got a little history behind it, right? And it made it through the hurricane, right?
It did. It was built in 1921,
Uh-huh.
and there's argument with it. It was the second house or the fourth house on the island, but
Okay,
it was one of the first ones.
right.
And for many years, it was a Sandcastle Kindergarten, and it was located on Mango Street, right on the beach.
Okay, wow.
So it was a great place. A lot of kids went there.
Yeah.
A lot of
Sure.
beach kids.
And then when did you come to this location?
Sometime in the 90s,
Okay,
right after we became a town, I think they.
Right.
Right.
1995 is when the official founding of the Estero Island
yeah,
Historic
we've got about
Society.
30 years this year, right?
30
Yeah, it's coming up
30
March 6th. They're doing a parade or something like that,
That's
right?
right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
town.
The town
Yeah.
of Fort Myers Beach is going to have a
Exactly.
big extravaganza to celebrate being
Right.
a town for 30 years.
But the history goes back way beyond 30 years.
Yes, goes back to the late 1800s.
Okay.
At least where people were on
Yep.
the island.
Yep. And it's evolved since then. A lot of changes, a lot of things going on with that as well, too.
Absolutely. There's been eras of change. I think waves of change.
Right.
And it's always been sort of since the people came to settle here in the 1880s, it's been kind of always a boom and bust sort of cycle.
Roller
And
coaster.
a roller coaster in terms of economy and resources and weather, hurricanes
Yeah.
and tourism, all kinds of things. It has been cyclical, and that's still the way it is.
Yep.
And but I think Hurricane Ian was really a watershed in our
Yes.
history.
Yeah. I mean, and prior to that, I remember I heard about it when I first moved here. It was Hurricane Donna.
Yeah.
That was the
Yes.
big one before that.
1960.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
That was a bad one, but there were how many people on the
Yeah,
island
a
then?
lot less people,
Yeah.
no condos.
Yeah.
Exactly. No
Right.
high rises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the landscape looks a little different,
Yep.
and it's going to change again. So we're evolving and getting to a better place.
Yes. I
But-
hope so.
What type of things do you guys do as far as the Historical Society is concerned? I mean, where do you get all your information? How do you gather all that?
Well, we had archives that one of our founding members, AJ Bassett, was an incredible archivist and curator.
Okay.
And she organized files. She took donations of historical artifacts from people and cataloged them and filed them and was very systematic. And of course, Hurricane Ian wiped out pretty much all of our paper files, many of our artifacts. But then the community has come together and really helped us rebuild a lot of our collection. And then Ellie Bunting wrote a book called The Lost Icons of Fort Myers Beach, which took us back before even Hurricane Ian to the things we had, the people who were here, the places, and what we lost, not only in Hurricane Ian, but in previous, like Hurricane Donna, Hurricane Charlie in 2004, the hurricanes in the 1920s and 40s, which were very devastating. We actually had a long period, I guess, after Hurricane Donna, when we didn't have a lot of major hurricanes. We always had storms. So people have donated. Some of us have been either living here or visiting here for most of our lives. So we've gathered information and talked to people, and just realized how important it is to keep hold of that history, because it's easy to have it slip away. And the history is fascinating. You know, it's quite amazing for a little barrier island.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of history here, and so we all love it. And that's one thing I want to make aware to the listeners as well too. Is, I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't find them until you start digging for them. I mean, people are rebuilding their houses and they had stuff in storage, and now they're digging through storage, going, "Oh, I still have this." That's stuff that they, don't throw it away. Bring it here. Share it, and let's remember some of the history on some of that. So you guys do a lot with the community as far as being involved. Are there any certain things that are happening that we should share with our listeners?
Well, we've got presentations coming up. We're doing our first exhibit that we've had since last year's opening tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's on the first from 1800s to 1920. We're going to try to go through it decade by decade, every month do a different decade. And that way you can dive a little bit deeper into the history. And so our first one is tomorrow. And then we're doing the murder mysteries. We've got one scheduled for next weekend on the body in the bay. Another one scheduled in March. So we've got another public meeting in March on the religion on the island. And and we're working, Janet and I are working on a book on the mysteries, island mysteries. So we hope to have that out next year sometime.
Next year,
So you write a lot of books. You wrote The Lost Icons as well too. How do you get involved in that?
Well, after Ian, I looked out and saw the damages when we were on the East Coast, and I saw it on TV, and I was like, wow, what we've lost. And I just started blogging about one thing at a time, and eventually I had 30 things. So I said, well, I might as well put it together in some format, because as much as I like technology, I want a book on my coffee table that I can look at. That I don't have to go and click a bunch of buttons to find it.
Yep.
And people who like technology can find a lot of the information on our website. But that book has sold tremendously well. Been a great source of funds as we rebuilt after Hurricane Ian. I think we spent $60,000 roughly to redo all the walls and floors. These are all original to the house. And to clean and to gather and start reorganizing the materials we did have. So that's been
so there's what, something happening back here with a park or an area back here, right?
The Manhattan's Past Preserve was beautiful before the storm, and they are rebuilding it, and they claim it's going to be done by the end of May. And we're very excited because a lot of people come back here to explore the bay and the preserve, and then they come and see us, and it's a good cooperation. We work very closely with those people, with the Friends of the Preserve.
Right. When we're looking forward to being part of their grand reopening, which is, I think, going to be at the end of May, or it's planned to be. And then next season, we're going to start having some collaborations with them, integrating some of the Matanzas Past Preserve trails and stories into what we teach people about history and what we share about the history, because that's a big part of it. That's a 60-acre preserve, I think. And it also almost got developed and became more
Yeah.
condos or resort or homes. And it's unique. There's no other large piece of land anymore on all of Fort Myers Beach that's in its natural
Right.
original state. So those things are precious, and we're glad that it's still there.
Exactly. And we talked just a little bit off the island. We talked that almost happened with Lover's Key as well, too,
That's
right?
Mhm.
Where somebody wanted to develop that. And thank
Yes.
God they didn't, because
Right.
it's just a beautiful place now.
That's
We
right.
don't have too many of those little slices of paradise left that
That's
we
right.
can do that. So we got to maintain those and bring them back. Now, on the side of the cottage, there's what? What is that on the side of the cottage there?
The rain barrel.
Yes.
The rain barrel, yes.
Yes.
That
What's the story behind
was-
that?
Well, rain barrels were really important back in the day because we didn't have any water out here. So
Mhm.
they would collect the water and use the water for bathing and cleaning and things like that. This was the last remaining rain barrel. I want to say it was on High Hercules, maybe. And it was donated to us. And actually, my son was working on his Eagle Scout project.
Right. All right.
So they
He
took it
restored
apart, brought it here, and they have rebuilt it. It's significantly damaged.
Yeah.
Needs a lot of work
yeah.
to get it back up. But we did have a contractor come in and at least lift it up and straighten it. So,
Yep.
but that's on our radar to get that.
It survived
Yeah.
Hurricane
Yeah.
Ian too,
Right.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. How much water did you guys have in here?
Well, there's a line on the door
Oh,
over
right,
there.
right.
It's going to say 6 feet or
Yeah.
close
pretty
to
close
6
to
feet.
that. Wow.
So this was full of storm surge and everything was tumbled around. And in our other building, which is back there from
Yeah.
the 1960s, this one's from 1921,
Mhm.
we had our archives carefully managed and preserved in fireproof cabinets that were not waterproof. So everything was pretty waterlogged, and we
Yeah.
salvaged what we could.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the knowledge from books that we've been selling and that other people have written, as well as the book Ellie wrote, that keep that history from the old days alive. And we sell those, and we gained a lot of knowledge from those.
And I think that's what's important about what you guys are doing, but we need the help from the community as well, too. Not just the stories, but, to help get things done and
Right.
preserve some of this history, because like I said, we're going through another evolution here on the beach, and things are changing, and we don't want people to forget where we were, where we've been, and where we came from. It's
Exactly.
very important. So I appreciate what you ladies are doing to preserve that. But as a listener or somebody out there, a member of the community, how would they get involved if they wanted to help out?
Well, I think they should start by going to our website, which is www.Estero Island Historic Society.com. And there's a wealth of information. There's an events page with all of our upcoming events. There's the homepage is what we're about and what our purpose is. And there are some historic archives in those pages of buildings and neighborhoods, people and places that were here and how they've either changed or disappeared. So that's a good place to start, and then come to some of our events.
Yeah.
We're having some events through most of the month of March, and our season runs generally November, December. We have our open house, and then January through March, and next year possibly April, we have public meetings, presentations about historic topics.
Very nice.
We had one this past Monday, and we encourage people to come out because everything is free of charge. We welcome donations, but we want to share the history.
Yep.
And we want to get as many people who are here involved as we can.
And people can, I know you had some damage with your records, but people can become members as well, too.
Yes, you can become members on the website. There's a link where you can join. You get a newsletter. We send also events. Every time we have an event, we send out a reminder to the people that are on our mailing list. So even if you're not a member and you want to get on the mailing list, you can still subscribe to the newsletter, and we'll put you on our list to get the information.
Right. Nice. And we have a shop where you can buy historic books about the history of Fort Myers Beach and the area.
Lost Icons, right?
Lost Icons and other books that we've had for years. And we have mugs, individual mugs. You can get any of these historic hand-painted street signs if you have a particular street.
Yeah.
You can, on the website, you can say, well, I want 1 or 5 or whatever number of mugs with my street's name on them.
Really?
And we can produce
Mhm.
those. And we're creating a poster with all of the street signs that we have, all the hand painted ones. And it's a beautiful poster. That's going to be for sale very soon.
Nice. So you guys are doing a lot of good things to get the word out and kind of rebuild per se as we are.
Yeah,
It seems to be the
rebuild.
word down here and capture things. On the other side of it, if well, we talked about people wanting to help out,
Mhm.
but I mean, there's something else we want to share with our listeners as far as capturing some of that history?
Capturing some of that history. Well, if people have any artifacts or any stories about the old days or anything they want to share, they should get in touch with us through our website. That would be great. Excuse me. I'll just mute that. Sorry.
Yeah, also, we're working with WGCU,
Okay.
the public radio,
Yep. Mhm.
and I guess they're doing some kind of a documentary on island history,
All right.
and they
nice.
have asked us to get the word out. They're looking for particularly videos, and they
Okay.
want like fun videos of families having fun on the beach,
Right.
those kinds of things. And we have a whole bunch of tapes that we found. Somebody found them after the hurricane,
Really?
and they were
Wow.
in good shape, and we've started previewing them. They're little, I don't even know when it was when they had
Right,
that
yeah.
those old video
Yeah.
cameras.
Mini cassette.
Yeah.
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 That's
So
a big video camera.
Yeah.
Tiny.
FGCU came yesterday. We met and they went through and they picked the ones that they're going to digitize them for us,
Very nice.
and then
All right.
we'll be able to incorporate that. There's a lot of oral histories that were done for people that used to live here, and Blanche Santini's on there, and Joe Hughes, and some of the older people that are no longer around. We
Yeah.
at least have their stories.
And that's
Yeah.
important.
And that's important. And so anything anybody might have, they're looking for it. So let us know and we'll pass it on to them.
Very nice. Very nice. I love it. No, I love what you ladies are doing. Thank you for doing that. I think it's an important part of us moving forward and moving beyond everything. But any last words for our listeners today?
I think I would just say that the history of this island is fascinating. And as much as maybe most of us people from the United States started coming down here in the 1880s, there were people here on and off 10,000 years ago, the Calusa
Right.
people. And they actually this was the center of their empire, Mound Key near here. So we do have a lot of information about the Calusa, the original people who were here, and everything from then until today. And there's a lot to share, and we want people to be aware of it because it's fascinating. And as they say, the past is prologue.
It is. I mean,
So-
people's memory only go back so far. It's like,
Exactly.
well, I remember when my grandparents used to come there, and
Right.
that's as far back. But
And
it
they
goes
caught a lot of
way
fish.
beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes back way beyond that.
way back.
So a lot of history, a lot of capturing, a lot of, if you get a chance, by all means, come out here, explore it. I guess I should ask, first time visitor here, first time, somebody moved here. What is one thing that they should go check out besides here, as on the island? I mean, the Mound House.
The Mound House,
I would say the Mound House. Yeah.
which is built on a Calusa
Yeah.
mound, not a burial mound, but it was like a kitchen midden, and where they put refuse and
Right.
built it up to also to be a lookout point at a strategic part of the island.
Wow.
That'd be a great place.
Mhm.
And if you can get a boat and go out to Mound Key, it's a state park, I think.
Yeah.
People can walk the trails there, climb up 60 feet or whatever. And again, that island was created by building by the Calusa.
Really? Wow.
They did that over, I'm sure, many
Many,
years.
many
Wow.
years.
And they dug canals, and that was their ceremonial center. So it's
That's-
an important. There's a lot of important places if you dig around and go to the Chamber of Commerce
Yeah,
and
that's
find
it.
out more.
That is it. That is it. It
Right.
is more than just the beach, which is beautiful, and then the
Absolutely.
water and the boating. There's other things to do here, and
Yeah.
other things to see, and other things to learn. So,
That's right.
well, very good. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for being such good neighbors, and
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to your series here. So
Yeah.
I'll have to come out and check
So
that
are
out.
we.
So,
Okay.
all right. Well, you ladies have a wonderful afternoon. Okay.
You too. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
On State Insurance USA Cares. We hope today's story uplifted and inspired you. If you'd you'd like to support or learn more about the incredible work happening in your community, visit stateinsuranceusa.com or call 239-567-9992. You can also visit CaboWaboGym.com. Until next time, be sure to let your sun shine and keep sharing good and positive vibes wherever the waves take you.